If you're injured while working in Florida, you could file a workers' compensation claim through the workers' compensation carrier. However, I strongly suggest that you consult with a law firm that's experienced in workers' compensation cases, because you need to be very precise in what you state on your claim for workers' compensation benefits in Florida. You don't want to say anything that's going to forego any rights that you may have against others other than your employer who might be liable for you for your injuries. There may be other entities or individuals that caused your accident other than your employer that may be liable. And you got to watch out what you say in those forms that you're going to file with workers' compensation. You don't want to say anything that's going to cause you a problem. It's going to limit your recovery or preclude your recovery against those other individuals or entities. Under Florida law, if your employer has workers' compensation insurance coverage, you cannot sue your employer for an injury on the job unless you qualify for one of the exceptions. One of the exceptions is an intentional act. Therefore, if your employer intentionally hurt you, if they physically assaulted you, if they set a booby trap, if they intentionally gave you a chair to sit on that they knew was broken and that would collapse, workers' compensation coverage is not going to protect the employer. But for these types of exceptions, generally speaking, workers' compensation coverage is broad in Florida and your employer will be protected. However, workers' compensation coverage in Florida doesn't protect any entity or individual who's not your employer. And oftentimes, if you're working on a construction site, there are workers from all different employers working on the site, and maybe one of them was responsible for your accident, and they or their employers can be sued by you for your injuries that you sustained in an accident. You need an experienced law firm like Parker Waichman, who's experienced in doing investigations of construction sites, to start working for you right away before the construction site changes, which oftentimes happens once an accident is reported. If you're injured on the job in Florida, you have to notify your employer within 30 days that you were injured on the job, and that if you were going to be able to pursue a claim for those injuries that you sustained on the job in Florida, you're going to have to bring that action against the person or entity responsible who is not your employer, other than your employer, within 4 years of the date of the accident.